Welcome students. Today we are going to see some of the intellectual theories of religion. Religion has been in some form or another for as long as human societies have and people have contemplated the essence of religion for thousands of years. The quest for understanding the essence of religion starts with nature and its effect on human society. The forces of nature and its impacts are comprehended in both the positive and negative dimensions that have been part of human feelings, thinking and acting for a longer period. With time, these aspects have undergone an extensive transformation and a variety of religious forms and practices have emerged. Dear learners, in this module, we are going to deliberate on the development of intellectual theories on religion. In sociology, the major theoretical perspectives are functionalism, conflict and symbolic interactionism. To start with, we can see what are these perspectives about. Functionalism is one of the major theoretical perspectives in sociology. Functionalism holds that society is a complex system whose various parts work together to produce stability and solidarity. According to this approach, the discipline of sociology should investigate the relationship of parts of society to each other and to society as a whole. This perspective is built upon twin emphases. They are the application of the scientific method to the objective social world and the use of an analogy between the individual organism and society. Functionalism emphasizes the importance of moral consensus in maintaining order and stability in society. Functionalists regard order and balance as the normal state of society. This social equilibrium is grounded in the existence of a moral consensus among the members of the society. The functioning of human body is analyzed in terms of the functioning of the various human organs in relation to each other as well as the organism as a whole. Functionalism adapts a perspective which is similar to that of functioning of a human body. As the various human organs works or functions in relation to each other, organ and also work as an organism as a whole, likewise the functions of the society also happens. Now we can see what is this conflict perspective. The conflict perspective emphasizes the importance of structures within society. They also advance a comprehensive model to explain how society works. Conflict theorists rejects functionalism's emphasis on consensus. They highlight the importance of division in society. They concentrate on issues of power, inequality and struggle. They tend to see society as composed of distinct groups pursuing their own interests. The existence of separate interests means that the potential for conflict is also present and that certain groups will benefit more than others. From a conflict perspective, the tension between dominant and disadvantaged groups within society are examined and seek to understand how relationship of control are established and perpetuated. An influential approach within conflict theory is Marxism. It is named after Karl Marx, whose work emphasized class conflict. Numerous interpretations of Marx's major work and ideas are possible. There are several schools of thoughts in relationship to Marxism. These take very different theoretical positions. Marxism is supposed to generate a program of radical political change. Then we can see the third important perspective in sociology, that is symbolic interactionism. It is a sociological perspective that developed around the middle of 20th century and that continues to be influential in some areas of the discipline. It is particularly important in micro-sociology and social psychology. We have seen functionalism and conflict, which is actually macro, but symbolic interactionism is micro-sociology. The work of American philosopher G.H. Mead had an important influence on sociological thought, in particular through a perspective which is called as symbolic interactionism. This perspective relies on the symbolic meaning that people develop and rely upon in the process of social interaction. The key element in this process is symbol. Symbols are the basis of social life. Individuals and societies develop because of their interaction with the help of symbols. Symbolic interactionism springs from a concern with language and meaning. Mead claims that language allows us to become self-conscious beings, aware of our own individuality and able to see ourselves from the outside as others see us. Individuals develop a sense of themselves as they learn to use symbols. Symbolic interactionism suggests that our identity or sense of self is shaped by social interaction. Individuals develop a sense of themselves as they learn to see themselves the way they believe others see them. Sociologists influenced by symbolic interactionism often focus on face-to-face interaction in the context of everyday life. They stress the role of such interaction is creating the society and its institution. Max Weber was an important indirect influence of this theoretical approach because although he acknowledged the existence of social structures such as classes, parties, status, groups and others, he held that these structures were created through the social actions of individuals. Now we can get into this model. In this model, we are going to discuss religion from various sociological perspectives. To start with, functionalism, conflict perspective, symbolic interactionism. Added to this, we are also going to see how social exchange theorists views religion, how phenomenology views religion and postmodernists' view of religion. Now we can see religion from various sociological perspectives. Functionalism. Religion is a social institution. Functionalists examine religion in terms of its purposes or the contributions it makes to address the fundamental needs of the society, including social cohesion, agreement on moral principles, harmony and integration of various societal segments, among others. According to the functionalists, religion is functional and ensures the survival of the social system. Functionalists argue that religion is an integrating force in society, a means of ensuring that people feel that they belong to society. It gives people the feeling of having something in common with others in the society. It is a means for people to express collective beliefs concerning social commitment and social solidarity. It provides a way for people to affirm common values, beliefs and ideals. It is collective consciousness. It also serves as the central value system. Thus, for functionalists, any social phenomenal institution that serves these functions can be called a religion. From the words of Emrc, Monahan and Mirola, in their work on Religion Matters, What Sociology Teaches Us About Religion in the World. This is a book that is written by them. They have discussed functionalism in that they claims that religion exerts a conservative influence by bolstering social standards and encouraging social cohesion and solidarity. Religion upholds the consensus on values and aids in the establishment of social order. Religion serves several functions for society. This we have discussed in the first module. These include giving meaning and purpose to life, reinforcing social unity and stability, serving as the agent of social control of behavior, promoting physical and psychological well-being, and motivating people to work for positive social change. Now we can see the views of some of the functionalists towards religion. To start with, Durkheim was one of the founding fathers of sociology who contributed a lot to the study of religion. He investigated the practice of totemism among Australian Aborigines, where various clans were symbolized by sacred totems. Religious symbols serve as a condensed representation of a more complex whole, reminding people that they are only a small part of a much bigger picture, and that they are simultaneously symbols of God and society. As a result, when people worship a particular religion, they are also worshipping society. Through religious worship, that is through ceremonies, the collective conscience is imprinted on individual. They physically feel the weight of the community on them. Religion works as a restricting or a conservative factor. Religion strengthens a sense of community and a common identity in society. He identified 4 key functions of religion in society. He means Durkheim. His detailed study on primitive religion, they are discipline, cohesion, vitalizing and euphoric. These are the functions or the importance of religion according to Durkheim. Now we can move on to the next thinker, that is Wrondzisław Malinowski. He was a social anthropologist, traveler, ethnologist, religion scholar, sociologist and writer. He is considered to be one of the pioneers of the school of functionalism. He advocated intense field work and introduced the participant observation method through his work at Trobriand Islands. He studied the religious practices of the Trobriand Islanders. He argued religion had more specific functions than Durkheim's view, which we have discussed earlier. According to him, religion helps individuals deal with the psychological stresses which occur in terms of social change, such as births, marriage and deaths. For instance, beliefs might serve as a catharsis for the bereaved and help people make sense of death. Religious practices also aid society in coping with the disruption of social order brought on by life-altering occurrences like death. Religion helps people deal with the situations that they cannot predict or control. For example, the Trobriand Islanders used religious rituals when fishing in the dangerous, unpredictable ocean, but not in the calm lagoons. So, when they go for deep sea fishing, they perform rituals. Unlike Durkheim, does not see religion as reflecting society as a whole, nor does he see religious rituals as worshipping society. In his work, he came to the conclusion that religion had a psychological purpose by assisting people in coping with tense and stressful conditions. By serving this psychological function, religion can also contribute to maintaining social stability by preventing the instability and disturbances that these kinds of unforeseen events might bring about. In this way, religion serves the psychological functions of the person. Another functionalist who discussed religion was Talcott Parsons. Parsons also argued in favor of religion serving these essential roles in integrating people into the agreement on values. He said that shared values, which were frequently and explicitly expressed by the religion directly, socialized the people, taking the examples such as the 10 Commandments in Judaism and Christianity. He further contends that religion provides an answer to the most important problems which, at least at the time of Parsons was writing, were thought to be outside the purview of science. Religion can provide solutions in terms of moral tests and rewards in life after death. This lends significance to a life that would otherwise seem pointless. He believed that social order maintenance was the primary function of religion. He further stated that religion fosters agreement on values. For instance, many legal systems are based on religious morality. Similar to Malinowski, Parsons believed that religious rituals and beliefs may assist people to make sense of the unforeseen events as well as preserve social order during times of societal change like death. People can use religion to make sense of seemingly incongruous situations. Next, we can move on to the next perspective, that is the conflict perspective. and its relationship with the religion. We discussed the benefits of religion from the functional perspective, but according to conflict theory, it can also reinforce and promote social inequality and social conflict. Religion reinforces and promotes social inequality and social conflict according to the conflict perspective people. Religious differences can encourage the poor to accept their status in society, and this in turn leads to hatred and violence because on their position in life. The social conflict theory of religion emphasizes how religion as a phenomenon of human behavior perpetuates social injustice by promoting a mindset that justifies oppression. Discuss with the theorist Karl Marx, who said that religion was the opiate of the masses, was a more influential on this viewpoint. He meant by this that religion, like a drug, keeps people content and happy with their current circumstances without realizing whether it creates pain or pleasure. Now we can discuss religion from Marxian perspective. Marx argued that religion is essential to preserving the uneven status quo in capitalist societies because some groups of people have dramatically more access to resources and power than other groups. Marx's main deliberation on religion was about the capitalist society and how religion plays a crucial role in maintaining the status quo. Marx contended that the bourgeois employed religion as a tactic to maintain the proletariat's subservience and keep them pacified. According to Marx, religion is able to promise rewards in the afterlife and appease the proletariat rather than claiming for it in this life. It was in this sense that Marx asserted the following: religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature, the feeling of a heartless world, and the soul of soulless circumstances. It is the opium of the people. The abolition of religion as the illusory happiness of the people is the demand for the real happiness. Marx urges the proletariats to reject religion and its exaggeration of paranormal occurrences through the above mentioned passage. Only then would members of this class be able to rebel against the bourgeois and seize control of the means of production, and only then would they be able to enjoy genuine rewards in this life. The social conflict perspective on religion thus emphasizes how religion as a reality of human behavior helps to uphold social inequality by offering a worldview that justifies domination. Marx emphasized time and again that the bourgeois must be overthrown by the working class. This viewpoint holds that religion serves as a device for societal control. It is believed that religion serves as a mechanism for upholding the existing system of exploitation and strengthening class distinctions. The illusion of hope in a hopeless situation created by religion prevents thoughts of overthrowing the system. Reality is distorted by religion, which provides justifications and explanations about the present social situations. This distortion produces false consciousness, which blinds the reality and the true situation and camouflages the capitalist's real interest. Marx stated, religion is only the illusionary sun which revolves around man as long as he does not revolve around himself. Marx was of the view that in a truly socialist society, individuals revolve around themselves, and religion, along with all other illusions and distortions of reality, will disappear. Now we can move on to the third perspective, that is symbolic interactionism and how it is being discussed in terms of religion. The core idea of this perspective focuses on the way how religious experiences are interpreted by the individual. The interpretation that is made by the individual emphasizes whether the beliefs and practices are sacred or not. The sacredness of the act depends totally on the meaning given to it. Once they are regarded as sacred, they gain unique value, and give people life purpose. While functional and conflict theories look at the macro aspects of religion and society, symbolic interactionism looks at the micro aspects. In addition to looking at how we understand religious experiences, it also looks at how religion affects our daily lives. It highlights, for instance, that traditions and beliefs are not sacred unless individuals treat them as such. As soon as we begin to revere them with sacredness, they acquire special importance that gives our lives purpose. Symbolic interactionists investigate how and why religious belief and practice have beneficial effects on people's psychological and physical well-being. They also examine how religious believers engage and practice their religion at places of worship and other religious settings. The value of symbolic interactionist method is demonstrated by religious symbols. Only two shapes in the sky, a crescent moon and a star, combine to form the symbol which is the universal representation of Islam. Likewise, a cross, which is simply two lines or bars, is a symbol of deep religious significance for 10 and above millions of Christians. The Star of David is actually two triangles that are superimposed to form a star with 6 points, but to Jews all over the world it represents their religious belief and serves as a constant reminder of their history of oppression. Like symbols, ceremonies and rituals are also taken into importance by the symbolic interactionists. Religious ceremonies and rituals serve as another example for symbolic interactionist perspective. They can be extremely intense and include crying, laughing, screaming, trance-like conditions, a sense of unity with others around, as well as other emotional and psychological states. They can be life-changing experiences for many people, while others may not have such experiences, yet still find them to be extraordinarily compelling. Other than these perspectives, there are other approaches in sociology like social exchange, phenomenology, postmodernism, etc. We can throw light on religious views of these perspectives too. We can see how social exchange perspective views religion. The theory of social exchange is a mixture of utilitarian economics, functional anthropology and behavioral psychology. The intellectual roots of exchange theory may be traced to utilitarian thought, which views men as rationally seeking to maximize their material benefits from transactions with others in a free and competitive marketplace. The social exchange perspective explains how we feel about a relationship with another person based on our impressions of the balance between what we put into the relationship and what we receive in return from it. Homans, one of the pioneers of social exchange theory, said that social behavior is an exchange of goods, not only material goods but also non-material ones such as the symbols of approval or prestige. He felt that individuals give much to others and try to get back much from them. And similarly, the individual who had received much from others are under pressure to give back much to them. The basis of all relationship is giving and taking, yet the balance of this transaction is not always equal. Contemporary exchange theorists, however, recognize that men are not always rational and that they do not always try to maximize profit in every exchange, but their interactions are often governed by cultural values and symbolic meanings. Religious behavior, either individual or group, can be explained by the law-like relationship between rewards and individual social behavior. Religious behavior is simply one form of elementary social behavior. Religious behavior follows the same principle as economic behavior in terms of exchange. To be very specific, Corcoran stated in her work on divine exchanges, applying social exchange theory to religious behavior, that all social exchanges involve some degree of uncertainty, although the amount depends on the conditions of the exchange. Uncertainty may arise due to the unverifiable quality of good exchanged or the indeterminable quality of the exchange partner, that is, whether she is trustworthy. Social exchange theory offers several mechanisms by which uncertainty may be reduced or mitigated, such as through trust, repeated exchanges, reputation, information regarding the exchange of others and institutions. Principles from social exchange theory to religious behavior argue that the same mechanism that reduce uncertainty in social exchanges also reduce uncertainty in religious exchanges, resulting in higher levels of religious commitment. Having experiences believed to be supernatural, having close ties to others within one's religious congregation, and being affiliated with a higher tension, church should increase religious commitment by decreasing uncertainty. Now we can see the next approach, which is a popular approach in sociology, phenomenological approach to the study of religion. The Encyclopedia of Sociology defines phenomenology as a method in philosophy that begins with the individual and his own conscience, experience, and tries to avoid prior assumptions, prejudices, and philosophical dogmas. Phenomenology thus examines phenomena as they are apprehended in their immediacy by the social actor. Phenomenological sociologists study how people define their social situations once they have suspended or bracketed their learned cultural notions. The basic proposition states that everyday reality is a socially constructed system of ideas that have accumulated over time and is taken for granted by group members. Edmund Husserl was the principal founder of phenomenology. He explains that phenomenology deals mainly with the correlation between knowledge and knowledge of objects as its basic theme. Husserl explains that phenomenology analyzes the idea of intentionality and material content systematically as various modifications of intentionality such as love, hatred, etc., and also examines the various modes of the presence of the object as intended in each act. The phenomenological study of religion deals with the personal participation of a scholar in the religion he or she seeks to study in order to understand the essence or the meaning and the manifestation of the religious phenomena of a particular religion. This he or she does through the grouping of the phenomena, the suspension of value judgment, which was previously held about the religion, and the taking of neutral stance in order to understand what she is studying. The phenomenological approach is necessary for the study of religion because of its attempt to understand religion in terms of essence or meaning and manifestations. Generally speaking, it can be proven that the interpretation of religious data is closely connected with the concept of religion peculiar to the individual scholar. This means that the responsibility of the phenomenologist is to analyze and investigate the concept of religion wherever it occurs. Now we can see how postmodernists view religion. Postmodernism is a late 20th century movement in the arts, architecture, and criticism that was a departure from modernism. In sociology, postmodern perspectives have become increasingly influential since 1980s. Postmodernism includes skeptical interpretations of culture, literature, art, philosophy, history, economics, architecture, fiction, and literary criticism. It is often associated with deconstruction and post-structuralism because its usage as a term gained significant popularity at the same time as 20th century post-structural thought. Postmodernist social theory argues religion is not in fact declining, it is just adapting as society develops. This view argues that changes in religion as the result of changes in the wider society such as greater individualism and consumerism, driving a shift away from the certainties of modernity to the uncertainties of the postmodern society. The postmodernist theory believes that the UK and other Western societies have experienced a major economic and cultural change in the past 20 years. They claim that this transformation from modern society to postmodern society has profound implications for religious organizations and the way religion is practiced. We can see some of the views of postmodern thinkers. David Leon, in his work on Jesus in Disney World, argues that in postmodern society, traditional religion is being replaced by new religious forms that suggest religion is still important. In it, Leon describes how religion has become disembedded in postmodern society. It is no longer embedded in religious organizations or in a particular country or culture, and beliefs are not embedded in their original contexts. In this way, religion becomes a matter of choice and therefore should be viewed not in terms of obligation, as much traditional religion viewed it as, but of consumption. Religion should be viewed for as consumption. One major factor in all this is technology. Television and now the internet has taken religion out of church buildings and onto television channels and websites. This also allows religion to become more privatized. Likewise, the work Religion as a Chain of Memory of Hervé Leger relating to religion in the postmodern world claims that secularization is the result of cultural amnesia. This means that postmodern societies have experienced a collective loss of religious memory. She notes that for centuries, children used to be taught religion in the extended family, at school, and at Sunday school at the local parish church. Religion was handed down from generation to generation. However, in postmodern societies, religious knowledge and stories are no longer handed down by parents to their children. Instead, parents often let children decide for themselves regarding religious belief. Hervé Leger also notes the decline of Sunday schools and observes that religion no longer has the status it once commanded in the education system. As a result, young people today have little religious knowledge and are less likely to inherit a fixed religious identity. We are in the last part of the module, so let us sum up. Although sociological theories of religion vary greatly, they all attempt to answer the fundamental concerns of why religion exists in some form or another in every society. They all agree that there are sociological explanations for why religion exists, putting aside the question of whether religion is true. In today's deliberation, we have seen the sociological perspectives. We saw functionalists explaining the existence of religion in terms of its contribution to social order. Followed by that, we saw Marxist and conflict perspectives view of religion as maintaining power in society and how it helps to uphold social inequality by offering a worldview that justifies domination. Likewise, symbolic interactionism, a micro-level perspective, looks at how and why religious practice and belief are good for people's mental and physical health and how symbols are given sacred meaning. The social exchange perspective views how religious behavior also involves exchange. According to postmodernist social theory, religion is simply adapting as society changes, not really dying. According to this point of view, shifts in religion or the result of societal developments such as increased individualism and materialism, which have caused a society to go from the certainties of modernity to the uncertainties of a postmodern one. Thank you.